Vicky. I don't think I properly introduced myself in my last video. I go by the screen name Lest You Be Judged, which it wasn't my first choice. My first, second, third, fourth, fifth choice were all taken. I have a lot of screen names on the internet, but apparently I got to YouTube too late to use any of those. I don't know about you, but I'm really into media. I think YouTube feeds into that. We all talk about our internet usage on a lot of the YouTube videos. Also, people talk about how it's replaced television for some people, in reference of a number of other things. And I think media plays an important role in our lives. It informs us, it entertains us, it educates us, which I guess is a form of information. And I'm interested in what you all consume media-wise. I'm thinking about covering a number of different topics. I'm going to start off today with print media, and by that I mean kind of more weekly, monthly types of media like magazines and newspapers. We'll pick books for another entry. I'm also want to discuss in the future movies, radio, internet, other than YouTube of course, and so on. And if you've got some ideas for what the series can include, please let me know. Kind of centered around media. I think what we consume says a lot about who we are and informs our opinions and ideas. I subscribe to a number of magazines, and I'll tell you a little bit about them and why I subscribe to them, and also other things I don't subscribe to but I pick up if I get the chance and that I find interesting. And then I'd really like to see your response, what you read or what you subscribe to, what you pick up if you're at Borders or Barnes & Noble or your local bookstore, what you pick up at your grandma's house. If you don't consume any media at all like that, like print media, if it's just way too passé, maybe you're into the New York Times online or InStyle online or whatever your thing is. So, I'm going to tell you about what I read. I subscribe to a number of different magazines, and it's one of the highlights of my week or month, depending on my subscription. I have a fairly long commute to work, and I'm definitely a multitasker, and I don't like downtime per se. So I've got this part of my commute where I have a lot of stoplights, and I literally read at stoplights. I'm blessed with the ability to read very, very fast, so I can actually get a lot of reading done in my, 20-minute stretch that's stoplights. Probably the longest thing I've subscribed to is Bon Appetit. I'm a fairly good cook. My friends tell me that I'm a really good cook, not to brag, but and I really enjoy cooking, and I've learned lately that I'm actually skilled enough now to kind of go out on my own and kind of make things up. But I think that's only because I spent years following recipes, and I spent years following the recipes in Bon Appetit. Found Bon Appetit a little more accessible than Gourmet magazine, and a little more, interesting than, the stuff you could find in Good Housekeeping, I guess. That's not really my generation anyway. So I've subscribed to Bon Appetit for over 10 years now, and it started out because I was going to host a Thanksgiving dinner and had no idea what I was going to do. And I actually roasted a turkey that year. Came out fabulous. So I was trying to roast a turkey. I didn't really know what to do. I picked up an issue of Bon Appetit, followed the directions exactly, and it turned out wonderful. And I thought, I'm onto something here. So I've subscribed, and one of the things I like about it is I get to try new things. I've kind of built a database around it. I'm kind of a geek in that way. And I'm always, if somebody's going to come over, I like to try something new. In fact, I kind of have this reputation that if you're going to come over for dinner, I'm probably going to try something I've never made before. And not everything's a success. Oftentimes I say to people, don't eat that. But usually most things are pretty good. Wired magazine. That's one of my newer subscriptions. My husband bought it for my birthday. And I just really like their mix of technology, kind of emerging ideas, pseudo-political commentary, Entertainment Weekly. I really enjoy that one because it's something I can read pretty quickly. I can actually consume a whole issue in less than a week on my commute to work. Their view of what's kind of coming up in movies and music and books. Vanity Fair. I've subscribed to Vanity Fair off and on for a number of years. I don't think most people would realize I read Vanity Fair. I don't dress like I read Vanity Fair. But I really like the fact that they write an article that's longer than a page or 2 pages long. They have an interesting mix of really fluff, meaningless, movie star pieces or, you know, celebrity pieces, and then some weird kind of tawdry expose, some interesting political commentary, and then, you know, just a mix of a whole bunch of other things. They have, you know, things about, you know, the world climate, or they'll have things about just the crazy kitty. The other people in the family subscribe to things like my husband subscribes to Bass Player magazine. He's a bass player. Kind of makes sense. I think I got that for my gift a few years ago. I think he enjoys that. My son recently started subscribing to Popular Science. He'd like to be an engineer when he grows up. Right now he's 12 and very fascinated with taking things apart. My husband also subscribes to a bunch of things for work. He teaches media, and he started and runs a student-run radio station at his school, or helps them run a student-run radio station at his school. And he subscribes to Digital Video Maker magazines and CMJ, which is a contemporary music journal. My husband and I actually met in radio in college, so that kind of brings back some memories. Probably the reason why I have a fascination with Endless Joe, and, you know, seeing him do his job at his radio station brings back a lot of memories. I don't read a lot of newspapers in print. I read a lot of them online, but in print I read two of our local you know, free weeklies, which here in the Santa Cruz County are Good Times and the Santa Cruz version of the Metro. And those, although very similar, kind of have a different bent. And I think most of you probably, no matter what city you live in, if you're in a city of any size, have something comparable. I grew up in LA, so they're comparable to LA Weekly, for example. I lived in Chicago for a while, and they're not, I don't know that Chicago had anything comparable. There's the Chicago Reader and the print, you know, the Onion in print, which was really cool when we lived in Chicago. We don't have the Onion in print out here in Santa Cruz, which I find amazing because it would be a good fit for our community, because we're very tongue-in-cheek out here on the West Coast. It's funny because it's newspaper people call me all the time, you should subscribe to our newspaper, and I love being able to tell them, I read it online, and they're just like, oh, okay, never mind, and they hang up. So hopefully that works for you, and the telemarketers call you and say, subscribe to our paper. Because I don't know about you, but I don't need that much paper. I just end up throwing it away, and then I feel bad, or recycling it, sorry. Now it's your turn. Now I'd like to hear about what you read, or wish you could read. Whatever you think is informing your point of view from a print media perspective. And you can look forward to version 2, and if you want, you can vote on which one we'd cover next. Again, I'd really like for you to post a video response. I think Renetto has really kind of opened up the door to a lot of people who don't usually put themselves on camera, or put anything on camera. And I think that's really cool. I think that's really exciting, and I'd love to see more of those people post more things. So I'm really hoping that I can get a number of video responses for, you know, that community that's kind of rallied around Renetto's call for a YouTube community in a number of different videos he's done. So please, I'd really love to see your video responses. Here's my kitty. There he is. Yeah. Anyway, bear with me. Where was I going?